Former WWE Champion Drew McIntyre's WWE contract is set to expire, and reportedly he is not close to agreeing a new deal. We've got the latest on the former champion's status with WWE, when his contract is actually set to expire, and if he is indeed going to leave or stay with the company. Bobby Lashley wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown last night and puts out a challenge for WrestleMania. Hopefully he can actually find an opponent prior to WrestleMania today, WrestleMania Saturday. Randy Orton, what's his status for WrestleMania 39? We've got details on that. What is the main event going to be for WrestleMania Night 1? Seth Rollins opens up on potential backstage legitimate issues with Cody Rhodes. In a very interesting series of comments, Dominic Mysterio walks out of the Hall of Fame when his father Rey Mysterio was being inducted. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, he's now created the new Latino World Order on Friday Night SmackDown last night. Michael Cole confirms the commentary team for WrestleMania this weekend. An update on the WWE stock price as we head into WrestleMania weekend. Charlotte Flair slams the booking of the main event of WrestleMania, particularly when it comes to the women's division storylines, and several AEW stars spotted at the WWE Hall of Fame. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Happy WrestleMania Saturday day. We are going to be doing watch-alongs, post-shows for not only WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, but also NXT Stand and Deliver today. So lock in. If you haven't already, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Click that notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live today. But let's get straight into the news story, starting with Drew McIntyre. According to a report from PW Insider Elite, a top WWE star, that being Drew McIntyre, is nearing the end of their current contract without agreeing to terms on a new deal. Per the report, this weekend's WrestleMania 39 appearance by Drew McIntyre could be his last with WWE for the foreseeable future. Apparently, McIntyre's contract is in the final year, but he and the company have not come to an agreement regarding terms for a future contract. It would be easy to see why any company from AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling on down would be highly interested in McIntyre should he become a free agent. Given how staunchly supportive of WWE McIntyre has been, including his work during the pandemic, as well as heavy presence in WWE corporate partnerships, starring in commercials for DoorDash, Mike's Hard Lemonade, to name a few, it might seem unlikely he would not re-sign. However, you can never say never in wrestling, and certainly you never know what's going to happen. But as of right now, McIntyre's contract is expiring this year, and he's nowhere near reportedly agreeing a new term or new terms right now. Again, anything can and will change, but certainly a big story as we head into WrestleMania weekend. The top star, it could be their final WrestleMania for a long time. Now, Bobby Lashley, not really surprisingly, won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale last night on SmackDown. The fans were actually quite squarely behind someone else. In a big Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, it was packed with a field of WWE's best and brightest. There were several fan favorites, but one stood out above the rest. The Los Angeles crowd at SmackDown were cheering for LA Knight with an intense fervor. However, they did not get their wish after Knight was eliminated near the end of the Battle Royal by Bronson Reed. In the end, the match came down to Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley, with Lashley finally eliminating the former North American champion. After the match, Lashley posed with the trophy, with Wade Barrett on commentary commending him for his resilience, saying, "When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade." Now, this is quite interesting when it comes to Bobby Lashley, because as of right now, WrestleMania Saturday, just hours before the event is set to take place, Lashley still does not have a WrestleMania match or opponent. But he's issued an open challenge, not on television, but on social media. Writing on Twitter, Lashley said, quote, "I'll say it once again, I'm free Saturday and Sunday. You can't have WrestleMania without the Almighty. You just can't. Whoever wants to test me, step up." As I mentioned, he did win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Some people were seeing or wondering if we were going to see some kind of angle that would set up a WrestleMania match, but as of yet, no dice. Now, obviously, the original plans were for Bobby Lashley to face off against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. That's kind of changed because of Wyatt's undisclosed physical issues, his illness. Lots of people wondering about Wyatt's status for WrestleMania. We don't know too much about Wyatt, but one thing we do know is about Uncle Howdy. According to a new report from PW Insider Elite, there is confirmation that someone from the Firefly Funhouse will be in town for WrestleMania 39 weekend. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, is confirmed to be in LA for this weekend's WrestleMania festivities. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll appear on screen, but he is there. There's still no word on whether or not Bray Wyatt is in attendance or if he has anything planned for the event. There were pictures floating around of Wyatt in an airport, but he could be going anywhere, and we don't know how recent or old or whatever those pictures are. So Uncle Howdy is in Los Angeles. Bobby Lashley's in Los Angeles. Is Bray Wyatt in Los Angeles? Could they do a thing where Bobby Lashley comes out and Bray Wyatt comes out? Anything's possible, but as of right now, we still don't know. One thing's for sure, though, we're not going to have to wait too long to find out what indeed is going on with Lashley or Wyatt or Howdy this weekend. Now, what about the Viper, Randy Orton? Now, this is quite interesting because Randy Orton, it's been spoken about a lot about his status for WrestleMania. Is he coming back? Has he recovered from his back injury? What's going on? Well, per WrestlingNews.co on Twitter, Randy Orton has indeed arrived in Los Angeles. There's been a lot of speculation about Orton's return ahead of this weekend's two-night event. In February, wrestling bootmaker Jose G. Sands fueled these rumors. The gear maker revealed that Randy Orton had contacted him about making some boots for his return. This had led to more reports that said that Orton's name had been sort of thrown around by the WWE creative team, and there had been reports that Randy Orton wanted to return at WrestleMania and not at the Raw after WrestleMania. There's been a lot of discussions about, is he going to show up? Is he going to attack Cody Rhodes? Is he going to reunite with Matt Riddle, who of course is out of action, but he's ready to come back as well? Well, Dave Meltzer has put a bit of a dampener on the Randy Orton Wrestling Soon reports. Despite the Viper being in LA for the WrestleMania festivities, he's not expected, according to Meltzer, to have any matches anytime soon. According to a tweet from the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer, he said, quote, "Just an update on Randy Orton. Don't expect him doing matches anytime soon, as he's a ways away from recovering from his back issues." Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Apex Predator won't be appearing on camera at WrestleMania or on camera on the Raw after WrestleMania or the SmackDown after WrestleMania. It just means he's not going to have a match anytime soon. We could see Orton come back in a TV character role and then eventually build to a match, maybe at SummerSlam, something like that. But according to Meltzer, don't expect to have the former world champion wrestling anytime soon. Now, what about tonight, WrestleMania Saturday? There's been so much speculation, so much talk about what is the main event going to be. We know the main event for WrestleMania Sunday, night 2. It's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. But what about tonight? This is absolutely fascinating. The main event, as of right now, at the time of recording this video, on April 1st of WrestleMania Night 1, is still unclear. There have been some fans calling for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship bout to headline. Others believe that the SmackDown Women's Championship match could go last, maybe more for political reasons, i.e. they want to have a female main event. They didn't have one last year. They want to have one this year. Now, per Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, those they spoke to within the company believe that the Tag Team Championship match will be officially made the main event of Night 1. It was also noted that the belief is that WWE will finally finalize Saturday's main event during that morning's production meeting, which at the time of recording is maybe an hour or so away. WWE sources have reportedly indicated that as of Friday, yesterday, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley have not been told that their match will headline Night 1. It was noted, however, that it was believed that those involved with the tag team title match have been made aware of this match's position on the card for preparation purposes. Fightful noted that those internally had discussed having the SmackDown Women's Championship match headline because a women's match didn't main event either nights of WrestleMania last year. It has also been reported and been noted that the tag titles have never headlined WrestleMania, nor has a wrestler of Syrian descent. It would be the first tag team main event since all the way back to the inaugural WrestleMania when you had Hulk Hogan and Mr. T facing off against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. So there's lots of different historical things they could do, and maybe because of the build, because of the importance, and because of the momentum, they've decided to go with the Tag Team Championship. Again, right now that's not confirmed, but that appears to be the direction that WWE are heading in. This is a fascinating story because it's not just in AEW that there's a bit of backstage drama when it comes to two people not really liking each other. As both men head into their respective WrestleMania matches, a top WWE superstar, that being Seth Rollins, has responded to claims of a backstage fight with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Rhodes had recently discussed the incident that took place when talking about Seth Rollins in a recent interview. Rollins has now responded in an interview with Daniel Cormier of ESPN, saying, "I can't get into so many details on that. There is a level of truth to that. The bottom line is, I feel based on my body of work and what I've contributed to this company over the course of the last decade, I should be in that position. I'm the one who has held it down while he drifted off and went and did his own thing. Respect to him, great. He drifted off and he did his own thing. I'm the one who held it down." Rollins is obviously referring to Rhodes' departure from WWE in 2016 that would see him go on to become a successful independent wrestler before establishing AEW in 2019. Rhodes remained with All Elite Wrestling until his return to WWE last year at WrestleMania. Rollins went on to criticize Rhodes' words, saying, "Whenever anybody got hurt or did something else or went off or took part-time schedules or wanted to do less and asked for more or wanted to go somewhere else because they weren't happy, you don't think there has been plenty of times where I haven't been happy or plenty of times where I haven't felt like I've been on the short end of the stick? There are a ton of stories I could tell you about that, but I don't. I keep it to myself. I put my head down, I work hard, I vouch for this company." I feel like what he's getting, I'm just not entirely comfortable with it. That just creates some natural friction between the two of us. When tempers flare, tempers flare. There is a little truth to that, but I can't get into too many details. There is some level of mutual respect. There has to be in this industry, but at the same time, there is animosity as well. So basically, Seth Rollins is saying, look, I respect him. I don't like him. I think that he's being handed a lot of stuff that I should be getting, which again is certainly very, 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 very interesting comments for Rollins to say. And some could say he's working. Some could say that he's just staying in character. But as is everything with pro wrestling, there's an element of truth to everything and anything that's said by anyone, especially nowadays where the lines between fiction and reality get blurred all the time. Now, Dominic Mysterio. Yes, Dominic Mysterio is going to be facing his father, Rey Mysterio, tonight at WrestleMania Night 1 inside SoFi Stadium. But last night was all about Rey Mysterio as well because it was the 2023 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And one of the major hanging questions going around as we headed into the Hall of Fame was, what was Dominic going to do? What was he going to do? Was he going to attack Rey Mysterio during a speech? Was he even going to be there? What was going to happen? Basically, when Rey Mysterio came out, Dominic refused to stand up. Dominic Mysterio, along with his Judgment Day pals Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, all remained seated for the Hall of Famers entrance. Before his actual speech began, though, the trio left the stage. They stood up and they walked off. They just left. And again, I think that was probably the right move when it comes to storyline purposes. Now, speaking of storyline purposes with Rey Mysterio, the LWO is back. This was something we spoke about the other day. There had been rumors and rumblings about this, and indeed, the Latino World Order segment. Yes, it happened last night on SmackDown. Yes, we saw that the LWO is back. It was a backstage segment with Rey Mysterio. He was talking to the entirety of Legado del Fantasma, easy for me to say, and Rey Mysterio got the shirts. They hung them out and said, "We're the LWO." So they're going to be in his corner tonight at WrestleMania. I don't know if this is going to be a really long thing going forward, if it's just for WrestleMania. I don't know what it is, but the LWO is back, the Latino World Order. A new iteration has been established on SmackDown. It's Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and the rest of Legado del Fantasma. And it must be said, as an old school WCW fan from back in the day, I did kind of like it. It was fun. Michael Cole has confirmed who's going to be on the call this weekend for WrestleMania 39 as well. This year's show of shows will take place, of course, across 2 nights, with WrestleMania 39 emanating from California's SoFi Stadium on Saturday and Sunday, that being April 1st and 2nd. Speaking with Richard Deitch on the Sports Media podcast, Michael Cole confirmed that he and Corey Graves will be calling the entirety of the WrestleMania 39 event, noting that they won't be swapped out for any of the other commentators during the shows. Cole said, quote, "I'm calling the entire show. Corey Graves and I will call the entire show both nights. The second night, of course, is going to be headlined by that huge undisputed Universal Championship match from it's Raw versus SmackDown, really, like the brand split means anything, but this was always the plan going forward. When they shook up the commentary teams late last year, it was always said that Michael Cole and Corey Graves was going to be the pay-per-view or premium live event commentary teams, and indeed that's going to be the case this weekend. Of course, one of the biggest stories too is the sale of WWE that's ongoing, and there had been these reports that WrestleMania taking place in California was very strategic in Los Angeles ahead of a possible big sale of the company. Now, with speculation of a potential WWE sale heating up, the stock price has been increasing heavily this week. To close out this week ahead of WrestleMania 39, WWE shares have closed at $91 for the week and a market cap of about $6.8 billion. This is high. This is a high for the stock price in recent memory and shows interest in the company's potential sale has had a direct result on the shareholders. Now, if you go back to around 2019, they did sort of surpass that $100 per share, and then obviously several things happened, i.e., you had some controversy when it came to the deal with Saudi Arabia, then you had the pandemic, which kind of crashed everything, and as it starts to recover a bit, the WWE stock price has continued to rise, so nearly $100 per share, and that market cap of $6.8 billion, reportedly, Vince McMahon wants way more. Would he want 9 or something like that? But we'll have to wait and see. McMahon, of course, is now an employee of WWE as well. Now, we spoke about seemingly the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships main eventing WrestleMania Night 1. The other possible option was Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And Charlotte Flair has kind of criticized, well, not kind of, she has criticized heavily the booking of WWE in a recent interview. Obviously, look, it's been something of a WWE tradition that the winner of the men's Royal Rumble match goes on to main event that year's WrestleMania. The same doesn't apply for the winner of the women's Royal Rumble match, as discussed by the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. According to her, that is, because we have seen people that have won the women's Royal Rumble match. We have seen the main event WrestleMania, i.e., let's think of some names, Bianca Belair. Let's think of Becky Lynch. Like, it's happened. Speaking to Ryan Satin on Out of Character, Flair said, quote, "How do I word this politically correct? I understand the best story should close the show. I understand that. But does the men's title and whoever wins the men's Royal Rumble, are they always guaranteed a main event spot? Are they always 99.9%? The woman last year, last minute, didn't happen. This year, toss-up because of story." She would then go on to look at WrestleMania 39 and the options at hand, adding, "You could argue whoever closes, say it is the tag match. I'm a huge fan. I've known Sami and Kevin since I started. I could not be bigger fans. But fighting for Rhea and Charlotte, I just go, that story has been a year in the making. This story has been 3 years. 3 years in the making. I get it. I get top story. I look at it from a fact standpoint instead of who deserves, because no one deserves anything. I do not deserve the main event. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you look at it from a factual standpoint, whoever wins the men's Royal Rumble, they are always 99.99999% the main event. If we have 2 nights, how does that work? If we don't close, am I going to be disappointed? Sure. But is it going to take away from the match in the moment, how we feel? No. I just go, how do we as women know why is theirs guaranteed and ours isn't? That's my question. Say the Usos, Sami and Kevin close, so proud, especially Sami, seeing this run and turning it into what he is. I'm just talking from the standpoint from the woman. If they're guaranteed, why is the women's Royal Rumble not? That's the fact. The question is due to facts. Either way, whoever is where on the card, it's WrestleMania. Good weekend, good vibes. Rhea and I will steal the show. Now, again, it must be said, that is not factually accurate what Charlotte Flair is saying. Of course, the males have more often main evented WrestleMania when they've won the Royal Rumble, but that's because it's been around longer. I have just pointed out a couple of people that have won the Women's Royal Rumble matches that have main evented WrestleMania. Of course, some haven't. But at the same time, particularly in recent years as well, it's not always been the case that whoever won the Men's Royal Rumble match main evented WrestleMania. You can talk about them all. Yes, of course, you had Brock Lesnar. Yes, you had Edge in recent years too. But and Drew McIntyre, but you can also have Seth Rollins the year before that. He opened the show. You can have other names too, as I mentioned. Shinsuke Nakamura didn't main event WrestleMania. You can have Randy Orton, didn't main event WrestleMania. You can have Triple H, that was for the WWE Championship, so that was a bit different too. But my point being is, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee every year that they main event WrestleMania. It's not. So is it more often? Yeah, it's more often than others, and we should work on that. But I think it's also, and this is just my opinion here, clear to me that the story is bigger, is the tag team one. And she can say it's 3 years in the making, but it's not really 3 years in the making because that wasn't the original plan when she came back. The original plan when she came back was to start a feud with Ronda Rousey, I believe it was, and that might lead to WrestleMania or whatever. Like, it was not. I think she was going to face Bianca Belair, wasn't she, at one point? So, I don't know. Finally, some AEW stars were spotted at the Hall of Fame. Andrade El Idolo, Buddy Matthews, they were spotted at the Hall of Fame last night, and people were saying, oh, what a big deal. I can't believe they're allowed to be there to support their other halves. It's really not a big deal. But there you go, guys. There's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.